Scroll Snapchat. It's easy to find flashy reels for psychedelic mushrooms, dealers posting price charts and QR codes for illegal psilocybin shrooms and edibles delivered to your door.
Open the door! Open the door!
Narcotics detectives are busting more labs in residential neighborhoods all over the valley and state. Rooms full of mason jars and plastic tubs, bags of mushrooms, psilocybin powder, capsules, edibles, and infused chocolate bars in every flavor imaginable.
We caught a drug dealer bringing drugs to our son's bedroom window.
This Valley father doesn't want to be named. His home security camera helped catch the dealer who sold to his 15-year-old son. Detectives say it was another teen who helped lock up 3 suspects higher up the chain.
There was a very large drug bust and weapons seizure related to the information that I provided them.
He says his son started with weed and switched to mushrooms so it wouldn't show on his home drug test. This picture was on his cell phone showing what he bought and ate hours before he wound up in the ER.
That put him into a psychotic episode, and it unfortunately unfolded at a very public event. It was at a high school football game. Blue and red lights are flashing everywhere. There's quite a crowd. Yeah, it was very disturbing.
How long did it take for him to start coming back to reality?
It took a very long time. He actually had to have multiple doses of antipsychotics.
We hear about that all the time. We see it all the time.
Maricopa County Detective Matt Shea works a regional drug task force tracking a recent explosion of illegal psilocybin on our streets.
Not just 1 pound, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds at a time of mushrooms. It's crazy.
He says just as legalizing marijuana multiplied black market pot sales in Arizona tenfold, they're seeing a precursor push of psilocybin mushrooms flooding the valley, specifically targeting kids and teens.
It rewires the brain a bit, and that's not something we should be doing to our kids that are 16, 17, 18 years old, 14 years old, 12 years old. We're seeing it.
There have been countless cases of tragedies, close calls, and bad trips from psychedelic hallucinations. 8 months ago, an Alaska Airlines pilot tried killing the engines mid-flight, convinced it would wake him up. A big problem with self-dosing suggestions like this. Start with 1 or 2 pieces. If there are no effects, have another.
So I could have it and nothing's happened for 20 minutes. I'll eat more because I'm like, oh, that must have been not enough. I'll eat more, and I'll eat more, and I'll eat more. Next thing you know, everything hits at once. Bam, now you freak out at a football game.
It's kind of like a Russian roulette here.
Dr. Sue Sicily runs the only lab in the country cleared by the feds to grow psilocybin mushrooms, not synthetics.
These mushrooms are not to be played with, and they can take you into some very dark rabbit holes.
She's got a wait list of patients eager to be part of the first clinical trial in the world, right here in Scottsdale.
They can be a wonderful medicine, or they can cause very severe side effects.
Her trial findings for safe dosing standards could take another year. One reason the governor vetoed the push to legalize psilocybin clinics without any proof of diagnosis for treatment.
We need to start with the science first.
While her lab takes precautions to prevent toxic mold, illegal home grows are covered in it.
Are there any regulations in place to protect the next family that comes into that apartment or house?
No, unfortunately it's not.
A hidden harm on top of another threat. Guns seized in nearly every bust.
They're meeting people they don't know to sell a product that's illegal.
Kids hear that it's legal somewhere else, so they think it's okay.
The #1 focus for this man's family now, getting his son sober. He says residential rehabs already run more than $150,000 out of pocket, but the greater cost is not knowing if a flashback of that bad trip will derail him down the road.
The damage it's doing is unmeasurable.
I personally healed using psilocybin mushrooms overnight.
Marine combat veteran Juliana Mercer is on the other side of her toughest battle.
Yes, it saved my life.
She grew up in Sierra Vista, spent 16 years in service and another 5 working with the Wounded Warrior Battalion.
It's losses on the battlefield, and what's worse is the losses at home.
A recent Watchdog report is tracking more than 36 veteran suicides a day. Juliana went all the way to Costa Rica for psilocybin therapy. The so-called magic mushrooms have been used for centuries by indigenous tribes for medicinal and ceremonial purposes. While it's not legal here, that could soon be changing. State House lawmakers are pushing to approve a $30 million study on psilocybin.
When you hear the word psychedelic, you think of the 60s and people lighting things on fire.
That's quite the opposite of what's being harnessed here at Daytrip, a psychedelic wellness sanctuary in the Arcadia district.
We're really blending East and West here.
They're using ketamine-assisted psychotherapy, a shot in the arm to unlock healing for people with suppressed trauma.
After I tried to commit suicide, I did a lot of internal searching. Something's got to change.
Ben says he's found something here he never felt after years of therapy and pills.
It's really strange to be in a place where you just feel absolutely at peace.
He let us in the room for his third session at Daytrip.
You just get the sense that something's being healed on the inside.
After 8 years in the Army and another 12 in federal law enforcement, these scars on his arm compound his internal pain with shame.
It really comes down to asking for help. It's not something that's in us to do.
He's here because he made a promise to his family he wouldn't give up again.
They suffered a lot watching me break.
What psychedelics do, whether it's psilocybin or ketamine, is they do that heavy lifting for you. So things that are locked down in the subconscious, it brings them up to the conscious, where now they can be processed and then let go.
Rudy Montijo is the COO at Daytrip.
Each client is assigned what's called the trip guide.
Licensed medical staff ensure a safe, soothing setting and act as a scribe during the procedure.
Where we do a full biopsychosocial assessment, get their psychiatric history, medical history.
But how does it actually work chemically?
Ketamine affects the glutamate receptors.
It's an anesthetic for your brain's most powerful neurotransmitters. Psychedelics mute fear and pain and heighten awareness so you can process trauma you can't otherwise face.
And you feel like you press Control-Delete and you have a chance to remember what it was like before you were so worried.
Dave Romanelli came here for help after his little girl was diagnosed with leukemia.
She finished treatment September of last year.
She's cancer-free now. He says ketamine helped him reset.
It's like you've been freed from your burden.
As this is literally life-saving measures for our veterans.
House lawmakers are asking the VA secretary to expand access to MDMA or ecstasy. Right now, 7 clinical trials they're running are all privately funded.
This is it. I mean, this is just huge in what it can do for our vets. So how do we get this to all of our facilities across the country?
These nonprofits have wait lists of hundreds of veterans that are desperate for care.
And the results are staggering, proving 88% effective in reducing symptoms and 67% effective in curing PTSD.
2/3 of the veterans that have used the MDMA treatment no longer qualify for a PTSD diagnosis.
While results can happen overnight, like they did for Juliana.
I woke up the next day and looked in the mirror and realized that I had shed almost 20 years worth of trauma and grief.
FDA approval takes time.